Good morning. I'm Charlie Bourne. I'm a practitioner for today, and I'd like to welcome everyone to this morning's service, whether you're here in person, and I just imagine a full house, or whether you're online and you're watching from Facebook Live, or you're going to be watching later on YouTube. So we welcome you, and we thank everybody in service today. We have the sound team, we have the ushers and greeters, and we have Reverend Dr. Mary on the board desk, and we have Reverend Sue today for today's message. So we want to start off with a song from Holiday. I'm going to have Damien from a separate mic introduce the song. And in fact, today we're going to have several songs recorded by Holiday that will be introduced by Damien. So Damien?
Thank you, Charlie. As he alluded to, Holly was scheduled to perform today, but due to COVID guidelines, she could not be here and perform. This first song is titled Beautiful Little World. In these vulnerable times, Holly is hoping this song will soothe your emotions and bring you back to your center and the truth of who you really are.
Everything's beautiful inside my little world. Everything's right when I go inside my little world. It's when I wanted to. It's amazing the amount of self-doubt I can find. But when I go back inside, it's then I realize those other voices weren't mine. Everything's beautiful inside my little world. Everyone is so alive inside my little world. Out there, everyone seems half asleep. It's like frost in the middle of June, while inside of me lives a sanctuary in blue. The fairies are all dressed in white flowers, dancing for the moon. This is the place where it's all so clear. There's no limitation of imagination in here. Inside the heart is a child at play. We go where the noise of the world fades away.
Well, if you're listening, Holly, that was just absolutely beautiful. And so we ask everyone in the sanctuary to namaste to each other. That's our way of saying hello instead of the hugs. And then out there in cyber world, you can namaste to everyone else in the world, in your heart, in your mind, and your spirit. So I have a few announcements this morning. First of all, we have by Reverend Dr. Mary Mitchell teaching the Essential Earnest Homes. It's a Science of Mind certified class. So it's going to be on Thursdays beginning July 23rd, 12:30 to 3 p.m. And it's going to be here at the center, so we're going to observe social distancing, and you will be required to wear a mask. Reverend Sue is going to be offering here in the sanctuary on Friday, July 31st, 6:30 to 7:30 p.m. in the sanctuary, Santosha Sangha. And again, it's going to be wearing a mask and social distancing. And then last, we have Foundations of Healing, Touch. It's a course, it's course one of a 3-part workshop with Christine Stewart. And it's going to be here in the sanctuary where you're going to have to wear a mask and social distance. But it'll be on Saturdays, August 1st and 8th from 8 a.m. to 12 noon. And then Saturday, August 15th, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. in the sanctuary. So that's it for our invitations. And what I'd like to do now is move into our reading by Damien, followed by the invitation of the bell, and you take that time to center yourself and in preparation for today's message from Reverend Sue. We'll have a little bit more music from Holy Day. So Damien, I invite you up.
Good morning. This reading has 2 parts. The first from the Science of Mind glossary by Ernest Holmes. And what word? Truth. That which is. It is the reason, cause, and power in and through everything. It is birthless, deathless, changeless, complete, perfect, whole, self-existent, causeless, almighty, God, spirit, law, mind, intelligence, and anything and everything that implies reality. There is one power in the universe, and we can all use it. This next part is from the member council of CSL Parent Organization, and their point of view regarding today's topic, the truth will set you free. We know there is one God, indestructible, absolute, pure love. This one manifests itself in and through all creation. Science of Mind believes in the individualization of the Spirit in each of us, and that all people are individualizations of the one Spirit. From this truth, we know that we are all connected and cared for by this source. That is heaven within us. And we experience it to the degree that we become conscious of it. And as we return to this knowing and the reconnection with God as an indwelling presence, our lives become free of all discord.
Please join with me wherever you are, whether online or in this center. Join with me in this present moment in acknowledging and knowing that there's just one love, one God, one Spirit that's everywhere present. And I know for myself and for everyone that hears this message, that this one God, this one love flows through each and every one of us, as us, individualized in the unique and most beautiful expression of the one. And so as I allow myself to go deeper within this knowing and this truth, I allow it to penetrate deep within my soul and to listen deeply. As I listen to the nudge and the urge to know more and to grow and expand as to my understanding of who I am, the truth of who I am. And that deep within my soul is that God presence that's always there, that's one of love, of peace and power and beauty. And allow that presence and that deep knowing to expand into my life fully. And today I open myself, I open my mind and my heart and my ears to the message of Reverend Sue as she shares her truth, her understanding, and her devotion to love and to God. So today I give thanks for the message and for the acceptance of being here together in this beautiful space and knowing that there is a beautiful love and a beautiful understanding taking place. And I give thanks for all that there is. I release these words into law, knowing full well it is so, and together we say, and so it is. So now I turn this back over to Damien for introduction to a song.
This next song is titled The Realm. It's Holly's intention that this song will help you break the illusion of separation and isolation and bring you back to the realm, the larger and greater truth of who you are.
Captured a perfect moment of peace, caught a glimpse right down into the center of me. The perfect center of me. What a lovely place where heaven resides, a miraculous space beyond limits of time. Beyond the limits of my mind. 'Twas like I captured a fairy between reality and a dream. I wonder why I visit so seldom, so much time in between. Center, through the labyrinth I'm free. I see beyond the illusion. The pendulum swings left to right, love to fear, fight to flight. But I'm part of that light. I'm reminded with one look into the night sky. Mother Nature's reflection is holding my serenity. It's her wisdom and perfect design moving through me. Mother Nature's reflection is holding my serenity. It's her wisdom and perfect design moving through me. It's the nature of a mother that holds the magic key. As she whispers, "Be still, my child," into the realm with me. Mother Nature's reflections designed to set us all free. As she whispers, "Be still, my child," into the realm with me. She whispers, "Be still, my child," now enter the realm with me.
Thank you, Holly Day. We've had the pleasure of seeing her so often fill this room with her love, and so we feel her with us now. So the topic today, I welcome you all into listening how you feel about the truth will set you free. The truth will set you free. And I recognized as I was thinking my thoughts on this throughout the week that it weaves a lot, it ties in a lot with what we shared last week about acceptance. And I presented last week a lot of the ideas around acceptance and the Tao of acceptance, and that idea of when we move to that level, perfection is revealed, when we can just accept what is and let go of the struggle. And that's the way it is with truth. If we look deeply into the words of truth, when we let ourselves be revealed for who we really are, there's a sense of release. There's a sense of freedom with that. No more wearing a mask or being this way for that person and acting this way in front of another, but finding our sense of balance and wholeness with who we are at a very deep level. And when we allow that to reveal itself inside of us, we witness an openness of simply relaxing with what is and being who we are, walking our talk, saying what we really know is our truth, a truth that rests on the divine wisdom, because we lean into the divine in a more powerful way because we're leaning in on truth. So everything, the weight of carrying our baggage of, well, I kind of told them that story before, and I've kind of had this kind of personality in front of that person, so I think I don't know, whenever I think of, I always admired Robin Williams so much, but I always felt like people wanted him to show up a certain way all the time. And I thought, that must be such a burden, to always be funny, to be on. And so I was very sensitive to what his personal deep self must have felt like, can I ever just be quiet? Can I ever take on a serious role? I thought about that a lot with Robin Williams, and I used to think, people used to say that to me because I used to be so sassy and bratty, and And people would say, why don't you be that? Why don't you be funny? And I think, I don't want to bring that person back to life because she was obnoxious. She was mean. And so I've worked on finding the voice within me that touches truth. And it's a delicate place. And it's a place that you just open your heart to it and you allow the truth to be revealed. But a light goes on when we allow ourselves to live that. Something gives way. And we begin to see something perhaps that we didn't see before because we were balancing all of these false ideas about who we are. But this awareness of allowing ourselves to really be exactly who we are. If our mood feels quiet, we allow that quietness to just take precedence. Just let it be. If we're quiet and someone says, what's wrong with you? You're so quiet. I am. Join me in being quiet because nothing's wrong. I'm just quiet today, reflective. When we can speak more honestly to those fluctuations of who we are in every moment, nobody will have the tendency, probably, hopefully less, to try to project onto you what they think you should be. So this awareness reveals a life in itself, and that you begin to experience it on a different level. Because just the basic law of science of mind is done unto you as you believe. Well, it's also true that we get what we're able to give. And if we experience and express truth, then we get that back. Now, there's a part of this that there's a lot of truth in silence. Now, remember, I spoke of it just a second ago about sometimes into that silence we can project so much onto someone, onto ourselves. So we have to look at silence. Am I speaking about silence as a paranoid silence? Or am I speaking of it as the cosmic, the big silence, the true depth of silence? Is there truth in silence? So there was a part in Anthea de Mello, he writes, Seeking God Everywhere, and he quotes Thomas Merton in Thomas's book on contemplative prayer, and he said, if you love truth, be a lover of silence. Silence, like the sunlight, will illuminate you in God and will deliver you from the phantoms of ignorance. In the beginning, we have to force ourselves to be silent, but then there is born something that draws us to silence. If only you practice this, untold light will dawn on you in consequence. After a while, a certain sweetness is born in the heart of this exercise, and the body is drawn almost by force to remain in silence. All the mystics say that once you get acclimated to silence, there is the greatest sweetness in it. Silence. Silence. The silence following the bell. And that longing to dwell in that safe space. Not that paranoid space where, why isn't anybody talking? Charlie and I used to get such a kick out of Ram Dass when we'd go to visit his talks, and they would announce that here comes Ram Dass. And then he would just sit, and there'd be this longest silence, and you'd hear him smacking, swallowing, not speaking, and Charlie and I would look at each other like, where is he? And he would just be in silence. And all of a sudden it brought the whole room into a higher place, a place of quieting down their own minds so they're better listeners. They're deeply more connected into that place of accepting what is and finding it perfect. So when we speak of truth and we have that piece of the silence, we're also looking at relative truth and absolute truth. And relative truth remember this, it's part of how we perceive truth. It comes often from the dualistic thinking. It's our perception of something. But are our perceptions always true? We've all had fun looking at diagrams when they draw them out and you say, is this line longer than that line? Or do you see the woman or do you see the vase? When we're looking at our perceptual field, what is that? And we feel so right. I see the vase. No, I see the woman. All I see is the vase. And so we look at recognizing how our mind can be altered by how we have perceived something. So that is really a relative truth, but we're looking at the absolute truth. That is the fruit of non-dualistic thinking, non-dualistic thought. It pervades all things. And the one thing that I truly recognize as truth for me is love. In witnessing all of the attributes of love, the empathy, the compassion, the ways it just opens our being to what is. In yoga philosophy, it's called satya, S-A-T-Y-A, satya. There's a principle of truth. And it encompasses compassion and honesty, mindful communication. And we look at the stories that remind us that truth is not something that we need to be afraid of. But truth is something, when we really align ourselves with truth, we're able to look into the mirror every day and witness that that is who I am. I am that I am. There's no falsehood anymore. This is it. And there's a clean feeling about that. And there's a place where we prepare ourselves then to be that with others, so allowing them to be that in their own right. When we can be honest with others, honest with ourselves, we can't choose to lie anymore. So I'm going to share with you a story of a counseling session with Celine, and listen to how this unfolds. She starts off saying, I'm afraid, and that is the reality of the situation. I am afraid, she says to her counselor. My counselor looked at me with consoling eyes after our lengthy discussion about my complicated family dynamics and how they could impact my future now. I looked out the window for a brief respite, trying the best to swallow the bitter pill of my reality. See, she's in that space of trying to accept what is. I felt the urge to retreat into my cocoon of safety that I had carefully woven with the threads of my dreams and my most cherished goals. If only there were a time machine that could take me back to simple, carefree days of childhood, a time when I could escape into the fantasy worlds that were filled with wonder, magic, and the endless possibilities. My counselor, though, recognized my escapist yearnings and gently brought me back to reality. Celine, I know this is tough for you, but try to look at the bright side. You can now make clear and intentional decisions based on truths instead of lies. Based on truth instead of lies. You're no longer trapped in a state of denial. You're free to find tangible solutions to the dilemmas that you're facing. And Celine nods in agreement and says she felt a wave of relief wash over her. No more pretending that things were different from what they really were. All that energy she was using to block truth could now be channeled to creation, to creating positive and constructive shifts. It wasn't easy to reach that epiphany, she says. Like most people, if left to my own devices, I would cushion myself in a bubble of ignorance. I see myself in Celine. I see myself sometimes there, that it's a lot easier to not face up to the truth, to try to keep arranging it so that it feels better, so that it feels right, and maybe whatever is will never actually feel that good again. So I have to accept what is and not pretend. Because we do, on a deep level, know what is good for us. But sometimes that can be a challenge to face. Sometimes it can be boring. Sometimes it can seem too bland. But the first steps towards transforming that mentality is getting clear on what truth really is and its significance. Remember, there is the reality-based truth that pertains to practicalities and facts of life that can be neutral and unbiased. That's a universal truth, like cause and effect, laws of attraction, laws of relativity, all of those based on a deep truth. They keep us in check. They remind us on the natural order of all things and the unpredictability of life. Truth, universal truth. But the other truth is that which we create with our own mind. We develop a unique perspective of the world based on what we've been exposed to and our own personal experiences. They are the belief systems that we rest upon. They are our identity, our challenges, and how we see the world as operating. It's a product of our self-awareness, or lack of it, how we interpret our experiences, and our level of education, both academic and personal. So that's a mouthful to think about, but let's look at what we have created with our own mind. This is where it comes in. Fact check. Fact check. Is it true, Byron Katie? Is it absolutely true? And does it bring love? Is it cha-cha? Is it telling the truth? Can you go back and revisit it? What would you be without that thought if it's causing you suffering? This interesting quote from somebody you might know, Elvis Presley. Truth is like the sun. You can shut it out for a time, but it ain't going away. Elvis Presley. So the gap between how we self-construct a truth and the reality-based truth, when we can take the universal truths and our truths and feel that they're coming closer and closer together, that we can allow ourselves to align with that, there seems to be a level of contentment instead of a space of delusion. So if you see, here's an example of this, of someone who poses as if living a life full of luxury because they think that's what people want to see about them, yet they're high in credit card debt. Is that the truth? Are they presenting a true picture of themselves? Or somebody madly in love in a relationship, but really, actually, totally inside themselves, they present this idea of themselves, but inside they're totally insecure and hung up, and they want to be somewhere else in a relationship. How does truth knock on your door? Think about that. In the moments in my life, personally, when I've had to face a challenge that is difficult and painful, it comes through my dreams. It comes through my dreams, and I'm thinking, oh gosh, I can't do that. What would the world think? I can't do that. I can't leave my husband, Charlie, Larry, at the time when I was married to him as the father of my 2 children. But there was something, a deeper truth that was knocking at my door of my heart to set Larry free, to set me free, and for the children to see a greater, truer idea of what love really is on a deep, deep level. Setting Larry free, setting me free, our family found Charlie. And everyone loved Charlie in the family. It became an expanded family. It was knocking on our door. It was a paradigm that who would have ever thought would have worked? But Larry accepted Charlie. The children adore Charlie. So it's this idea of when we allow whatever is stirring in our heart could be very difficult to then walk the walk, to allow it to unfold. But when we can find that courage and truth, and love prevails, and it is a true demonstration. So there's a high price that we pay for not facing truth, hiding behind a veil of unvalidated truth. Because inside of us there is that instinctive knowing that there's an intuitive message, a hunch that we need to move. And we need to be awake and ready and prepared in spiritual practices to watch for those signs from the universe, to watch for those synchronicities that allow us to wake up. Now there's four, as I close this idea, I want you to think of these 4 reasons why truth will set you free. And again, this is continuing from Celine Chenoy's story about herself. This is what she discovered, 4 reasons how it will set you free and how you can move closer to it. Number 1, you increase your chance of success. Any lasting form of success and fulfillment in the world requires honest, realistic approach. The more pragmatic you are when it comes to how you view a situation, the higher the chances that your plans will materialize in the real world. You are building your dreams on a firm foundation of truth instead of the quicksand of denial. This includes getting your facts straight, opening to receive feedback, and having constructive suggestions. Consider ideas, but try to discover the deep foundation of truth. Number 2, you're less likely to be disappointed. You'll bounce back faster. When you're not honest about life, you follow a trajectory based on false expectations. You're most definitely going to face a rude awakening when things finally do go awry. Not only will you have to get over your failure, but also the frustration that you deceived yourself and you deceived others. Recovery at that point is harder than someone who failed with their eyes wide open, who knew their self, fully aware of what they're getting into. Number 3, you gain more wisdom and invaluable experience. You can learn a lot of wisdom from your experiences if you're willing to see the truth of your character, the truth of your behavior, the reality of your situation. Hardships, challenges, disappointments are tough to deal with in the moment, but we have to muster up the courage to search the pearls of wisdom that are right there. We stand to gain a lot by doing this in the form of lessons and personal growth. And then finally, people will like you and trust you. Trust. Truth and trust go hand in hand. That's what's going on right now, that we're not quite sure in our political world who to trust. And a lot depends on that. Who to trust on the information, who's telling the truth about COVID. So we're looking at all of these ideas, everything that we're experiencing right now in our current life situations. How we discern truth is presented to us because COVID has given us time to be silent and still, to find our base of truth, to find our foundation. So people will like you and trust you more. A person who lives their life from a place of truth becomes the pillar of strength for others. People will feel comfortable in your presence because of the calm and poise that you exude. Practical realism is hard to come by in a world where the majority of people are bitten by the bug of grandiosity. Align yourself with truth. You'll find more and more people are drawn to you because you're telling the truth. That light is open. That light draws. And you are weeding out the imposters and the toxic individuals, focusing on higher, deeper quality relationships out in the world. The truth will set you free. So everyone should know exactly what it is that they are. All of us. Who are you? Who are you and what is truth to you? Keep examining that idea, these questions. What is the truth that is true all the time, not just for me, not just for you, but for all? Where is that to be found? Who has the access? Does it really set me free? Is it satya? Is it truth? Everyone should know exactly who and what they are, really know. If you're beautiful, know that you're beautiful. It's okay. You're not conceited. You don't need to tell anybody how beautiful you are. Just know it at a very deep level. If you're strong, know you're strong. If you're courageous, know that you're courageous. If you're a jerk, don't fool yourself thinking that you're a good person. Okay, watch for it. If you're a receiver, identify this, then learn how to give. If you're incredibly stupid, try to fix that until you're profoundly intelligent. Don't hide anything. If you're gay, then love being gay. If you're straight, love being straight. Just be who you are. Look into the mirror and see yourself, always, every day. Whatever it is that you are, fix what needs to be fixed, throw out what needs to be thrown out. But please, not even for a second, don't ever stop looking at yourself in the reflection of your mirror. That was written by C. Joy Bell. Just in a commentary. And I thought it was very profound. Just be who you are. And if you are not living up to that, then change it. It's up to you. So let's close this idea that the truth will set you free. And allow it to echo into your own heart chambers. Let it go deep inside of you as you do your contemplations this week. As you find yourself enamored by the moments of silence, listening to the One through nature, through silence, there's a message for you, a synchronicity calling you home. See and wait to see if God is saying something to you. Watch the children in the world. They are closest to this knowing. They move from chatter to silence in a moment's notice. And you can tell by looking deep into a child's eyes that they are listening to something very deep. Let's not forget. So I want to close this now, just pulling it all back into your heart and offering it as a gift to you, to watch how this week the truth will set you free. And Tosha Silver, in her Change Me prayers, says this simple prayer: change me, divine beloved, into one who can stand in the truth in all circumstances. Let me know the pleasure of honoring the inner voice and feelings no matter what. Let me know the pleasure of honoring the inner voice no matter what. Take me over. Give me the right words and the actions. At all times I am yours. So we join together in that absolute knowing. In that absolute truth, there is only one. And in that divine knowing of there's only one, I recognize the many names that I offer to that grace that is ever present. And I join that truth. And as that truth is revealed in the sanctuary and the altar of my heart, I recognize that it is here that I choose to reside and to allow myself to look out into the world. And as I speak this word for myself, I know it's equally true for each and every one here, for we are each a divine being. And we recognize the realm of that spirit moving, acting, operating through us as truth, as love. And here right now, we bear witness to that. There's something changing inside of each and every one of us. Yes, we give thanks to the COVID experience for allowing us these moments of stillness. We allow ourselves to feel grateful for the moments of revelation and truth as it is revealed intuitively, and we act upon that truth, and we have the courage to be a part of the change that is happening in this planet. We spread this love all across the planet into every nation, knowing that the COVID experience is not ours alone. But we bless every life that has been taken in such a way that we lean into that suffering ourselves, and we take a part of that into our own heart to ease the suffering of another. We choose to do that as the truth of the heart in this COVID time. 2020 came to us as the year of clear vision. May it be so. That everything that we've experienced this year is not something to complain about, but something to grow deeper into understanding and love. So I release this prayer knowing that it is a prayer of gratitude, a prayer of love, a prayer of oneness, a prayer of truth. May we each find our way and walk our walk and speak our truth. I release this knowing it's already so. I celebrate the truth in you. And so it is. Thank you. And back to you.
Thank you, Sue. So now Damien will introduce a song by Holly Day. Okay, so before that, we're going to do our offering, and just want to thank everyone who's been sending in their donations and supporting the center through this time. You can check out our website. There's many ways to contribute. You can do it online, or you can mail it in. There's many, many different ways, and for those in the center today, as you exit, there's baskets where you can leave your pledge or your donation. And so we truly do support your support, because it allows the doors to stay open, allows the teaching to prosper, and we feel that we have truly reached many, many people, even during this more quieter time during COVID. So with deep gratitude, we say thank you, thank you, thank you. And so it is. And so now we'd like to have Damien introduce our closing song from Holly Day, and thank you for being here today.
This final song is titled Illumination. It's Holly's intent that it helps you recognize the divine in nature and the divine in each other. We're all connected. Nature is inviting you to notice.
Thought I might find you waiting inside, hiding behind someone's beautiful eyes, briefly revealed in a stranger's smile, patiently waiting somewhere outside of maze, a wise man disguised in the bark of an old oak tree, with a hidden love.